Hey everyone, and welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, my name's Amina and I'd love it if you can subscribe to my channel to see more from me. So this video is focusing on GCSE results day, which is actually, what day is it? 2 days from now. I'm filming this on a Tuesday, results day is on a Thursday. So if you have got your results coming up, then good luck. I'm sure you guys will do amazingly. Or if you've opened your results already and you are kind of confused and not sure what to do, then this video is for you. I'm going to be going through all the different options that you have. I'm going to be going through what you should be thinking about over the next 2 days before you get your results, whether you should apply for a college or a sixth form, A-levels or BTEC or an apprenticeship, and what to do if you don't necessarily do as well as you expected in some of your course subjects. So starting with A-levels. Now A-levels are obviously a qualification that you do post 16, so they're a 2-year qualification. Now A-levels can be taken and studied in college or in a sixth form, and you might be a bit confused whether you should go to a college or whether you should go to a sixth form. Now there are pros and cons of both, and I'm going to go through them with you now. So your sixth form may be attached to your secondary school, so you probably know the school, you know the teachers, you know the students, which is great. I mean, it's quite nice to go somewhere that you know people already, which is a positive. Whereas a college is usually a standalone building, a standalone institution, and everyone's kind of new there, which is also might be nice to get a change, but also might be a bit daunting as well. In terms of the A-levels itself, in terms of the academic side of things, now it's very, very, very different, and you as a person has to sort of look at yourself and say to yourself, okay, I am someone who likes the structure of school. I am someone who, wants to wear a uniform. I am someone who has to be on time, has to give assignments on time, wants to be chased and wants to be held accountable. Someone like that should go to a sixth form. Sixth form is just like school. It is basically school. It's in school, it's like school. You get detention if you obviously get in trouble, or if you're late or whatever, you get detention. Sixth forms, the teachers essentially, I mean, they treat you like adults. They still treat you like, young adults. However, it is very, very similar to school. You have, a bell, you have timed classes, you have to be in. I believe they phone your parents if you're not in. It's very much like school. You also wear a uniform, not the school uniform. You probably just wear like a shirt and tie, or kind of smart casual clothes, but they are trying to prepare you for professionality and for sort of the workplace and university. Whereas on the flip side, colleges are a bit more like university, I would say, where you kind of have the freedom to do whatever it is that you like. So you have a timetable, you know where it is that you should be, but if you're not there, no one's going to chase you. If you miss all of your lessons, no one's going to chase you. But you will fail your assignments, you will fail your exams, but no one's going to chase you. It is really your responsibility. Not every college is the same, so some colleges might be similar to sixth forms, but for the most part, that is the biggest difference, and it is a huge, huge difference. So if you are someone, like I said, that really wants that structure and knows that if you are given that freedom, you won't do well with it, go to a sixth form. In terms of who does better, generally students in sixth forms tend to do better because, like I said, there is that, you are treated like you are in school. So teachers really do chase you. They give you a billion chances. They keep on chasing you and chasing you and chasing you. Whereas in college, you really have to be very self-motivated. So I went to a sixth form. All my siblings went to sixth forms as well. But I do have a lot of friends that went to colleges, and a lot of them say that their teachers sometimes don't turn up. Students don't really care. They had to be very, very, very self-motivated to be able to get their A-levels. Usually colleges have a lower requirement, so maybe they'll accept you with a 5 or a 4, whereas sixth forms have a much stricter requirement, so you would have to have a higher grade to be able to get into that sixth form. So don't think that you can't get into a sixth form just because you haven't got a place yet. I would say that on the day when you get your results, whether they're better or not as good as you expect, call up the sixth form, go to the sixth form, go and speak to them, show them that you're really passionate, show them that you really want to attend their school. And that's how 2 of my siblings got into their sixth form. They didn't get in, and then they took their results and went there and they got in. So you can do that. It's very, very possible, even up till a week or 2 into September, a lot of students are coming, kind of leaving and going in, and there's a lot of movement in the beginning. So don't ever think that just because you didn't get into it now, you won't be able to get into it at all. Just keep on chasing until you get a solid no. Okay, so in terms of subject, now this is really, really, really important. And I don't think anyone tells, well, I haven't heard it before, but it's really, really important that you decide what subjects you want to do based on what you think you might be doing in the future. Now, you may have no idea what you're doing. You might not even know whether you're doing science, maths, engineering, chemistry. You have absolutely no idea what you're doing. Whereas you might have an idea of what kind of area you want to go into. So for example, you might know that I want to do some sort of engineering, maths, sciencey subject. So you should know, so that means that you really should take maths. And you might want to take biology or chemistry or physics just to be on the safe side, right? Because what happens is a lot of students just pick subjects that they might be good at, or subjects that their friends are doing, and then they want to apply for university a year later and they find out that actually to get into engineering you need a maths A-level or you need a physics A-level. That's a prerequisite for most universities, and that means that you can't apply for it, and that's just that. So what I recommend you to do, you've got about 3 weeks or 4, maybe even 4 weeks before school actually starts. So look at the results that you have, think about what A-levels you're going to go into, then go onto university websites and search for different courses. Maybe have a list of 5 or 6 different courses that you might be interested in the beginning and starting, and think about and look at what the requirements are. It will say A-level biology has to be a biology A-level. That means you should do it for medicine, for example. So for example, for law, you don't need a law A-level to do law at university. In fact, they'd rather you didn't have a law A-level. So you doing law at A-level isn't going to help you get into law at university. You'd much rather do English, you'd much rather do arts, you'd much rather do history, geography than doing law, right? So you do need to think about that when you are applying and thinking about what subjects to do. Also, don't do a subject because your friend's doing it. Don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do a subject because your favourite teacher's teaching it, because that teacher might leave in the middle of the year, or you might not even be in that teacher's class. If there's too big of a class, you might be in a different class. So really pick those subjects carefully, independently. I cannot emphasize this enough. Do you do 3 A-levels, or do you do 4 A-levels, or do you do 5, or do you do 6? Now most colleges, 6th forms offer you 3 or 4. 6th forms usually offer 4. I think colleges usually offer 3. I would say if you are someone who found GCSEs okay, you revised for them, you did well in them, you got mostly 7, 8s, 9s, then I would say to go for 4 A-levels. Definitely go for 4. Private school students do 6, 7 A-levels. Why can't we do 4 A-levels? Why can't we do 5 A-levels? Why can't we do 6 A-levels? Go for it. Do 4 A-levels. You can definitely do it. Choose subjects, like I said, choose 2 subjects at least that you think are core for what it is that you want to do. So if you want to go into politics, then maybe history might be a good one, English might be a good one to do, and then maybe choose a subject that you think you might just be interested in. So for example, for me, I chose English literature. I knew that I wasn't going to do anything to do with English, but I thought it'd be interesting to do something different. I did all sciences. I did biology, I did chemistry, I did maths, and I was kind of bored of sciences really, and I thought, let me go and do English. I'm learning about different texts. I'm going to be doing, I'm going to be discussing, I'm writing essays, I'm with a different crowd. I was sick of the science mathsy crowd, I was with the English crowd, and I really, really enjoyed it. And in fact, it was a subject that I got a star in. I did really well in it, really, really well, and I ended up keeping it. So in the second year, I actually kept all my 4 A-levels just because I loved it so much and I didn't want to drop it at all. So think about a different subject that you think I could be really good at. Might not have a purpose in the future in terms of getting into university, but I might be really good at it and I might actually do well in it. So try it out. If it doesn't work out, that's fine. You can drop it after even 2 weeks of starting the course. You have no commitment to it. Or you can do a year of it and then drop it in the second year. That's also fine. In the beginning of the year, so when you start in September this year, you actually have the flexibility to kind of come in and out of courses. It's not really advertised. Teachers won't tell you that you can do it, but you can. You have about 2 weeks or so to kind of decide. And let's say you're doing maths A-level and you start it and you absolutely hate it. You have the option to leave and to go into, I don't know, drama A-level or something else. Don't be ashamed of doing that. did I do that? I think I did that. I started off with psychology and I left and I went into English within a week, and I was so happy I did that. And my friend started off in English and left and went into psychology, and that was completely fine, and it's completely allowed. Like I said, if you're not comfortable with the course to begin with, don't stick with it for the year. You're gonna hate it. It's difficult. You won't enjoy it. So just leave as soon as you can. If you are doing A-levels, then I would say brush up a little bit before you start in September. You don't understand how much it's going to help you. Moving on to apprenticeships and gap years and BTECs. Now, I don't have too much to say about them just because I think the majority of students always go to A-levels, but apprenticeships are really good alternatives to an education. So if you're someone who doesn't really, doesn't love school, and that's completely fine. There are so many amazing options nowadays that gives you a chance to go into an apprenticeship or go into the workforce essentially. And a lot of the time you can actually get paid for that and also get an education on the side. So you might not really feel like going into school and going back to school for another 2 years. You can find apprenticeships or different schemes, or you can get some work experience somewhere and try to find what suits you. Techs are offered usually at colleges, and they are a project that you can work on. It's a bit more challenging, I would say, because you can't, you're not left to your own devices, but you do need to be very independent and complete a large bit of work. Or you might want to do a gap year. So let's say you just want to take a bit of a gap year, you could do that. I wouldn't recommend a gap year at this stage though. A gap year I'd recommend after your A-levels, not necessarily now, just because if you do want to go back, you will be kind of 1 year older than everyone else, and also it's quite hard to go back into A-levels after having taken a year out. It's quite easy now, you're used to GCSEs and you go straight into A-levels, that's fine. But taking a gap year now, I wouldn't recommend it. I'd recommend it before university more. And good luck for your results on Thursday. I'm sure you guys will do amazingly, and don't forget to leave me a comment and let me know how you did. Come back to this video on Thursday and let me know how you did. I might do a live on Thursday morning as well, so come back and check my channel on Thursday morning to see me live and to chat to me and ask me questions. I'll probably be live around 10 a.m. maybe, something like that, so you can ask me questions, and yeah, we can kind of talk about things if you have any questions about anything. But don't forget to subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye.